is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right? We're not allowed to say they're groomers, but when they act a lot like groomers, sort of tells you everything you need to know, right?
I'm gonna go throw up, actually, and this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now because I have integrity.
This is how Trump supporters are feeling at the moment. He has basically betrayed every promise he made to them. Now they're realizing that not only is he a rapist, he is a pedo too. And he's trying to cover it up. Let's watch some videos of pro-Trump content creator Alex Jones having a mental breakdown. Let's roll the tape.
I'm gonna go throw up, actually, and this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now because I have integrity, and I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good, and then for them to do something like this tears my guts out.
This is supposed to be about the most transparent administration ever.
What on earth is going on? Was Pam Bondi set up by deep state FBI career officials? Is she stupid? Is she so click thirsty that she got out over her skis trying to make news, being a Fox News star?
Pam Bondi, all of it. All those videos are saying, yeah, she's seen the videos. It's all coming out. And then now it doesn't exist. I mean, what? What?
This seems like unforgivable behavior. How could she give us those phase 1 binders that contained nothing while bragging about the cover sheet that she made, the most transparent administration in history, and tell us that the SDNY had the real goods? The binder was just proof of a deep state cover-up. That was the real story, she told us, only to now say, sorry, there's nothing. If I'm President Trump, I wouldn't tolerate it. She's a liability to him.
Even though they know he is guilty, some of them are still blaming others. The deep state. Trump is now the deep state. He's in control of every lever of power. This is not going away. The same people trying to cover it up are the ones that have been fanning the flames since 2019. Now, I have a theory about why the Trump administration and Trump himself is trying to bury this story. They know Elon Musk have the list as well, and they are trying to get ahead of it. And now our own president might be implicated as a pedo. This is a national security threat because someone has something on the president of the United States, and someone might be pulling the string behind the scenes.
Could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the latest?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey, could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
And this is how I know Trump is guilty. He called this trivial. Really? Trump is the trivial guy. He's the guy who acts like a high school bully, calling people names. Who would forget little Marco? Who will forget all the names all the names that he gave his opponents during the campaigns? Who will forget Sleepy Joe? That is the prime example of a trivial person. And Trump, of all people, is saying that we're being trivial. The press is being trivial by bringing up the Epstein case, the Epstein list. That is just comedic that he wants to act like he's the grown up. Like, when did Trump becomes the grown up one in the room? That's crazy. That is new. He's trying to call Epstein a creep. Like he doesn't know the guy.
Of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention. The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter.
This is not going away. The same people trying to cover this up are the same ones who have been fanning the flames since 2019.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure?
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is that. I mean, there's.
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI, just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic.
Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset, meaning his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Jeffrey Epstein may have some videotape of people central to the Democrat and maybe Republican Party doing some things, let's just say they shouldn't be doing. Joe, are you picking up what I'm putting down here?
Yeah, unsavory actions, yes.
Unsavory. Very well said, Joe. There were people on Jeffrey Epstein's island and on Jeffrey Epstein's plane who may not have known they were being recorded. And Jeffrey Epstein may have been recording this or may not have even known about some of the recordings. You get what I'm saying? Intelligence officials may have been using Jeffrey Epstein, knowingly or unknowingly. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? That some of these cameras may have been his doing, may not have been his doing. Regardless of the purpose, there were clearly, based on a number of people I've spoken to, intelligence agencies who were using Jeffrey Epstein in the information black market to gather files on people doing things they shouldn't have been doing.
So after they got everyone all riled up about the Epstein list and how the Democrats and Bill Gates and the deep state were on it, once they got into office, they started singing a different tone.
My comments were clear. I'm not paid for my opinions anymore. I work for the taxpayer now. I'm paid on evidence. That's it. The evidence we have in our files clearly indicates that it was, in fact, a suicide. We do have video. It's not the greatest video in the world. I don't want to set expectations on fire. However, the video does show in that specific block that he goes in, made a phone call. You'll see 12 hours of guards going to basically check on him, come back. You'll see no one really comes out in that bay, in that area, than him. There's no one in there.
Apparently, they came out with a video that was supposed to make everything go away. But the video was doctored, and the media pounced on it.
Sure. The minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
So the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. They promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the department.
Pam Bondi has definitely made multiple inconsistent statements, and I'm sorry, but she does not deserve the benefit of my good opinion, and I'm not prepared to give it to her. She's, yes, on camera saying that clip that Peter Doocy was referencing, where John Roberts asked her, do you have the client list? Like, are you going to release a client list? And she said, yes. He said client list, and she said, yes, it's on my desk right now. So it was not as amorphous as Caroline, to her credit. She's trying to cover for the administration, which is her job, but they put her in a very difficult position. It's not amorphous. It's very clear. She said yes. And here's what happened. What happened was Pam Bondi said that. And then a week later, she said she was going to be releasing some very interesting documents the next day, when on Jesse Waters' show, like 6 days after that first hit, he said, hey, what client list is coming out? And she was like, it's going to be getting very interesting, and some interesting Epstein documents are coming out tomorrow. And that is when the influencers, right-wing influencers who had been very good to Trump, who amidst all the deranged media out there, were able to see through the bullshit and reported honestly and helped him a lot, and did not deserve the humiliation that she heaped upon them. It was not through their own doing. She invited them there. I mean, who wouldn't go, right? It's Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi.
Now, we all know this is a cover-up happening. And they know that we know. We're not stupid. Even though Trump supporters would compromise their moral fortitude, most noble people wouldn't. But the powers that be, which is the Trump administration, they just don't care anymore. So Sanjay went on Tucker Carlson's show, and he explained this better than I could. Let's roll the tape.
You're saying that Pam Bondi said on camera, we have a client list.
On the White House lawn.
I've seen the client list.
Yes.
And then yesterday, she's saying there's no client list.
There's no client list. And there was no systematic blackmail. That actually might be the most preposterous line in the document.
The whole thing that this tape shows that he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
Yeah, I agree, because the lie is more the lie at this point is not even part of trying to convince any of this is true.
Yes.
The lie is a signal to everybody else involved in the scheme that to the ultimate ends, the United States government will go to protect all of you.
Yes.
And that's the for
Man,
what
is that smart.
purpose?
Can you say that again? Okay,
yes.
So it's a signal.
The lie is not for you and me. The lie is for those implicated to say, no matter what, we will protect you. And then we have to start asking the question, why? As in, what is the purpose?